Episode 1. There is no evil. In an underground parking lot, one man helps another carry something to the trunk of a car. After that, the men drive away. At the exit of the parking lot, Heshmat is stopped by a security guard for inspection. When asked what is in the sack in the trunk, Heshmat calmly answers that it is rice. After arriving home, the man's first action is to drag the sack inside. No one else is at home yet. Hearing commotion outside, he steps out to see what is happening. A woman, a neighbor, explains that a kitten crawled under the fuel boiler, and the children cannot pull it out. Heshmat rescues the animal without hesitation. Soon the man picks up his wife Razieh, a schoolteacher, from work. The couple plans to stop by the bank for Heshmat's salary and for a wedding gift. In general, they are absorbed by their everyday routine. While Heshmat waits in the car, Razieh goes into the bank for his salary. Upon returning, the woman is outraged that the teller asked for her ID, even though she has been receiving her husband's pay for many years. The man explains that the teller was just doing his job, so as a bank employee he had to make sure of everything. But Razieh's mood is spoiled anyway. She got so upset that she forgot to pay the fee, so the couple will have to come back later. They pick up their daughter Zara from school. Next, the family stops by the supermarket for groceries for themselves and for Heshmat's mother. In the meantime, Razieh expresses her dissatisfaction with the fact that her husband often takes night shifts, yet his salary hardly changes. The sack of rice they receive at work is clearly not enough. The man promises to talk to the management. The family visits Heshmat's ailing mother to bring her groceries, pay her utility bill, and help with chores. Any woman could only dream of such a devoted son as Heshmat. He cleans, cooks dinner, and helps his daughter with her homework while Razieh assists the elderly woman in the bathroom. After serving dinner to his mother, he reminds her not to forget to take all her medications afterward. The family has dinner at a pizzeria, just as Heshmat promised his daughter. They return home late, and by that time Zara has already fallen asleep. The couple unpacks the groceries, then Heshmat dyes his wife's hair, as she wants to look beautiful tomorrow at the wedding they were invited to. In general, Heshmat lives the ordinary life of an average family man. Or does it only seem that way? The man wakes up early in the morning to the sound of his alarm clock, then reluctantly prepares for work. There are no cars on the street, yet it is such an early hour, so Heshmat drives alone. Immersed in his own thoughts, he simply performs a sequence of actions polished by so many years into absolute automatism. After parking the car, the man prepares to carry out his daily duties. His family has no idea what he does at work. Heshmat presses a special button that activates a mechanism executing several prisoners at once. Episode 2, She Said You Could Do It. In the barracks attached to the prison, a soldier named Puya cannot fall asleep because very soon he will have to face something. And Puya is certain that he will not be able to cope. His girlfriend Tamine calls him, assuring him that everything is under control, and urging him not to worry. But Puya, already on the edge, realizes that this is impossible. His anxiety grows with each passing second. Puya had hoped that his brother would help him transfer to another military unit, but he is not answering the phone. In this way, the man hoped to avoid the order that he simply will not be able to force himself to carry out. One of the soldiers, Hassan, annoyed that he was woken at 2 in the morning, says that Puya is weak and pathetic. In the army, the rule is that orders are not discussed, even if you think they are wrong. After all, Puya is a grown man and must fulfill his military duty. But he knows that he will not be able to take a person's life. Hassan explains that the man committed a crime and was sentenced to death, so there is nothing wrong about it. Everyone receives what they deserve. However, even this does not make Puya change his mind. His fellow soldiers wonder why he even joined the army with such convictions, instead of leaving the country. Puya reminds them that without a military card a man cannot obtain a passport, and without a passport it is impossible to go abroad. Puya does not understand why anyone should agree to something like this just for the possibility of being a full-fledged citizen of their country. Salar, who also serves in this unit, reminds him that disobeying an order implies a tribunal, prison, and a longer term of service. Hassan advises him to stop acting like a saint and complete his military duty. There are only 2 options: obey the laws or find a way to change them. Puya receives another call from Tamine. He is crying and repeating that he will not be able to do it. He is so terrified, and whatever Tamine says will not help him. It is easy to give advice while sitting at home on a couch. One of Puya's fellow soldiers, Ali, is willing to replace him and execute the man instead, but not for free, rather for 50 million tamans. His sister is very ill, and money is needed for treatment. Ali has done this more than once, so for him one less makes no difference. Puya asks Ali to give him time until tomorrow because he has no way to transfer the money from here in the middle of the night. Ali, supported by his fellow soldiers, is not sure this is a fair deal. What if tomorrow Puya's brother arranges his transfer, and he disappears without paying? But Puya is ready to write a signed note. Amir is infuriated by Puya's attempt to buy his innocence, which leads to conflict. Amir believes that Puya is more of a sinner than all of them, since he pays, while Ali takes the sin upon himself for the sake of his sister. Puya has no right to remain innocent among them. If the deal goes through, Amir threatens to report them the next day. Puya faces a difficult choice. Ali shares that every time before executing someone, he always tries to find out what crime the prisoner committed. One way or another, they all end up guilty. Puya receives yet another call from Tamine, and they speak briefly. The moment has come. The man prepares to carry out his order. Ali catches up with him and hands him a small piece of paper, saying that he will need it. As required, Puya puts handcuffs on the prisoner and leads him to the execution. The prison corridors seem endless. With every step Puya feels that his nerves are about to give out. He must not show it, but at some point emotions take over, and the young man asks the soldier accompanying him for permission to go to the restroom. There, crying, he unfolds Ali's note and reads it. Then pulling himself together a little, Puya returns to the escort. Catching the right moment, he takes the rifle from the soldier and demands that everyone enter the restroom, threatening to open fire if they make any noise. Puya knows what awaits him if he is caught. Then he orders the prisoner to handcuff the soldier to a radiator, and himself to the handle of a stall door. No one has the right to order him to take someone's life, and Puya will never betray his conscience. Taking the keys, he opens every door on his way, using the prison map he received earlier from Ali. At the security post, he first lies that he was sent to find out why the ambulance connected with the execution has still not arrived, but in the next second points the rifle at the soldiers, orders them to put handcuffs on themselves and lock themselves in the cabinets. Despite everything, Puya manages to escape from the prison grounds. He reunites with his girlfriend Tamine, who picks him up in her car. The man still cannot believe that he has done this. They drive away together, and when they stop for a moment, Puya throws the rifle away. Episode 3, Birthday. Javad, who has almost completed his military service, takes a leave in order to return to the place he comes from. Walking through the forest, he stops to tidy himself up. The man is nervous, anticipating the meeting ahead. In his native village, his girlfriend Nana is waiting for him. As soon as they see each other, the lovers embrace tightly. Despite the separation, their feelings have not faded. Later, Javad asks Nana's father for his blessing so he can propose to her on her birthday. The man tells him to speak with Shireen, Nana's mother, first. From the man's expression, Javad senses that something has happened. He is told that 2 days ago a family friend, Kivan, passed away, so the chairs that have been set out are not for Nana's birthday, but for the funeral. The whole family is deeply grieving. Javad offers his condolences. Nana did not say anything to him, trying to pretend that everything was fine. Eventually Javad asks her directly who Kivan was, and why the police had been looking for her. The girl reluctantly answers that Kivan was wanted because of his political beliefs, and her family had been hiding him. Javad does not like the fact that some man had been living in his beloved's house for years, someone who had been like a son to her father. He believes he has the right to know the whole truth. Nana assures Javad that there was nothing between her and Kivan that he as her boyfriend should worry about. And she does not want to talk about this on her birthday at all. But feeling how dear Kivan was to Nana, Javad cannot contain his jealousy and anger. He does not believe her and demands that she tell him the whole truth. Nana says that Kivan was 10 years older than she was. For Javad this is no argument, since his own father is 12 years older than his mother. Nana insists that Kivan had been like a teacher to her. And not only to her, but to other young people as well. For the entire family this is truly a great loss. Kivan had been like a family member to them, even closer than Javad. He asks Shireen why she gave up life in the city and all her career opportunities. The woman responds with a question of her own: has he ever done something he did not want to do? For Javad as a soldier this is obvious. But until he is discharged, a normal life is impossible. He cannot work, start a business, or leave the country. Therefore Javad is obliged to give 2 years of his life. If he refuses, his life will be destroyed. In the house everything is being prepared for the funeral. Seeing Kivan's framed photograph, Javad is horrified to realize that he knows this man. He runs through the forest and plunges into the cold water in an attempt to pull himself together. As he resurfaces he screams in despair, asking himself whether the world can really be this small. Then Javad breaks down and cries from helplessness. What he has done cannot be undone. Nana's family, without even realizing it, welcomed their enemy into their home. Nana finds her beloved in the forest and tries to find out what has happened to him. He is soaked and trembling from the cold, barely able to speak. But as soon as Nana puts his warm jacket on him, the man admits that he is the one who took Kivan's life. It was an execution. Javad did it for 3 days of leave so that he could come to Nana's birthday. He swears he knew nothing about Kivan. He had been told the man was a criminal. Hearing this, Nana does not know what to feel. Nevertheless, she leads the freezing Javad into the barn and brings him dry clothes. The girl says that her family does not need to know any of this. She told her mother that they had had an argument. The man remains silent, tormented by guilt. The funeral takes place on Nana's birthday. Her family has no idea of the terrible truth behind it all. When Javad slips the engagement ring onto his beloved's finger, she cannot bear it and begins to cry. At night Javad cannot sleep. What he has done weighs heavily on him, because it turns out that Kivan had not been a dangerous criminal, but had merely paid with his life for his political views. Early in the morning Javad finds Nana in the forest under the pouring rain. She has already calculated how many times her beloved was granted those 3 days of leave. The girl loved him so deeply, but now nothing can ever be the same. The man suggests that they simply forget about it. Nana only says that she will miss him, and walks away. Javad is left standing alone in the rain. Episode 4, Kiss Me. Zaman and Bahram meet their niece, the university student Daria, at the airport. The girl has flown in to visit them. First thing she does is call her father Mansour to tell him that everything is fine. On the way, she says that she recently entered medical school, although she is not sure this is what she truly wants. Her father, also a doctor, insisted on it. Wearing a hijab feels unusual to Daria, because her family lives abroad and does not follow strict religious rules. They stop at a roadside cafe. The man is absorbed in his thoughts. Zaman mentions that Daria is a bit distant, she keeps to herself. But Bahram had not expected anything different. The trip was long, because the couple lives far from the city. Upon arriving home, throughout the entire evening Bahram cannot take his eyes off Daria, which clearly makes her uncomfortable. He seems to be holding something back. In the middle of the night people knock on the door, shouting in panic that their daughter has been bitten by a snake. They have come here for help, because Bahram is a doctor. He acts professionally and saves the girl. Even after staying here a short while, Daria is surprised at how her uncle and aunt live without the internet or a phone. The man explains that it is hard to uproot yourself after 20 years. The girl also wants to know whether Bahram is truly a doctor, or if the locals simply call him one. He answers that he is real. Bahram studied at the same university as Mansour. This is not all that he wants to tell Daria, but for now he cannot bring himself to do it. Later, Zaman and Bahram, who keep an apiary, teach their niece how to handle the bees. Unexpectedly the man leaves to meet someone and borrow a rifle. Something is tormenting him from within. During dinner, Daria asks her uncle why after earning a medical degree, he chose to live in the desert and run an apiary. What is the point? Bahram simply replies that in life things do not always go according to plan. He had his reasons, but he does not regret anything. Or at least so he says. The next day Zaman tells her husband that she does not have the courage. She knows that they must tell Daria the truth, but she does not know how. Mansour calls and asks his brother whether he has already talked to Daria. Bahram answers that he is still waiting for the right moment. The girl helps her uncle and aunt with the household, unaware that they are hiding a certain family secret from her. In the evening they set the table for dinner. Bahram plays music and dances, making the girl laugh, while Zaman tries to gather the courage for the most difficult conversation of their lives. Suddenly the man begins to cough. Recently this has been happening more and more often. Zaman tends to her husband and gives him an injection before bed. All Bahram needs now is a long sleep. In the morning, as soon as he feels better, he plans to go hunt the fox that constantly ravages their chicken coop. Daria and Zaman join him. Suddenly the woman remembers that she forgot the food and turns back. Meanwhile Daria and Bahram argue over whether it is justified to kill the fox to protect the chickens. In Bahram's opinion, it is fair. But Daria disagrees, since a wild animal is guided by instinct. She does not believe it is right to treat a living creature this way because of its nature. When Bahram tries to force her to do it, she runs away. The man returns home. Zaman announces that she has told Daria everything. But the woman still does not understand the purpose of all this. Bahram replies that he had to tell Daria the truth before he dies. But in Zaman's opinion, people do not need the kind of truth that shatters their lives. Besides, Daria will still continue seeing Mansour as her father, the man who raised her, not Bahram. Zaman gets ready to take Daria to the airport. Bahram intends to go with them, but the girl does not want to see him or speak to him. Her entire world collapsed in an instant. All these years she lived in a lie. The truth came out only 20 years later, when her biological father became terminally ill. The man tries to explain that he had no choice. When Bahram was serving in the army, he refused to execute a prisoner, just as Daria refused to kill the fox. He has been on the run all his life. Bahram and his late wife decided to entrust their daughter to Mansour for her own safety. Daria's mother died while trying to cross the border with smugglers. She only wanted to be reunited with her daughter. But Daria stands by her opinion, believing that family should matter more than moral principles. She asks Bahram whether he would have changed his decision if he had known in advance, back then, that his beloved was pregnant. He says no. The couple drives Daria to the airport. On the way, Bahram has another coughing fit, so they are forced to stop. While Zaman helps her husband, Daria notices a fox in the bushes. Then they all return to the car and continue driving. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel not to miss more exciting new products. Also, the authors will be pleased if you leave your opinion in the comments.